Hey yo, what's going on? What's going on? Yes, we back for week 2 of the book listening and comment sessions with the book titled 10,000 Hours with a Rich Menace by Jahquel J. Last week we did chapters 1 through 3. I said episodes. Still thinking I was reviewing shows. Good morning, boo. How you doing, Casey? How you doing? What's up? Happy Sunday. I know, bright early today, right? But we do a start of chapter 4 today, and continue on how long it takes. So we will stop around 1 o'clock because I gotta work at 2, so we'll stop around 1. So we'll see how that goes and whatnot. So what it is, if y'all missed last week, we just gonna be listening to the chapters, and every point then I might pause it and give my comment of what I'm hearing. And that's that. If you want to say something based on what you hear to, put it in the chat, and then I could respond to that when I pause the thing. I won't pause it too much because I want us to listen to it, but this is what it is. So it's like a Sunday morning. I'm behind the screen. You will not see me. So it's just audio only. And it's basically just chit chat. You could just listen. You can clean. You can cook. You do whatever you want to do this Sunday morning while you listen to a book. And it's good so far. It's really good so far. We did the first 2 chapters. I'll put the link to the last week on this chat. So if you want to watch last week, you can copy and paste and listen to that after this. But next Sunday, I have to go to my mother's apartment viewing appointment. So what I'm going to do is that instead of doing this next Sunday, I will do this next this coming Saturday. And I will do a Saturday morning so it can make up for the Sunday that I will not be here for. So that's that. let's get into it because I'm ready to hear. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till Sunday so I can listen to the rest with y'all. Because I didn't listen to it yet. So this is my first time, just like everybody else, listen to the chapters. All right, so we start with chapter 4, called Menace. All right. And don't forget, if y'all want to chat, you can feel free to chat in the comment section based on what you hear. All right, let's go.
4. Menace. I called and double-checked if the pasta's made from scratch. You hate that boxed mess, and I would rather know before you try and throw somebody through the window, Jeffy informed me, never looking up from her iPad. I pulled my eyes away from the window, wondering if she slept with that damn iPad. It was never away from her. Whenever you saw Jeffy, just know you saw that iPad right with her. Duke, my armed guard and driver, looked into the rearview and nodded before he got out. In the back of my Rizvani Vengeance, I was untouchable. It wasn't only bulletproof, the shit had a military armored package on it. I've always known the Eaton name was powerful, and the amount of power my wicked-ass uncle had was something I probably would never understand unless I was in his position. I was now in his position, and I realized that our family had our hands into everything. That Eaton name made the entire world rotate, and when I took over, I held that power in my hands, and now the Caselli name made the world go round. I couldn't move like I used to, and I had to be 10 times smarter because there were men who wanted my position. Weirdos probably woke up thinking of the day that they could take out Menace Caselli. If I learned one thing about my uncle, it was to trust no one. That was easy for me because I was naturally fucking paranoid, which is why I stayed to myself. Here I was wiping my uncle out because of the fuck shit he did to my parents, only to step into the role where there were men out there in the world that wanted to kill me. They would never admit it, and they would also shake hands with me and make deals while seething on the inside. Added with the fact that I knew every government official's dirty secrets. I wasn't foolish enough to think because they spent money with me that they wouldn't snake me. You see how the fuck they did Malcolm X and the founder of the Black Panthers. When it came to those bitches, they liked to hold shit over your head, not the other way around. To make sure nobody decided to start feeling themselves, I had security with me at all times, and I drove around in this fucking tank. Duke knocked on the back window and Jeffy looked at me as she checked her gun in her purse, and I leaned forward and grabbed mine from the divider between us. Hopping out, I put my gun in the back of my sweats, rounded the truck, and went into the restaurant. There were thousands of restaurants within the city. However, this one was a special one. Anytime I came to this restaurant meant I was meeting with the other founding families of Staten Island. I made sure Jeffy was in front of me as she pulled her purse onto her arm, and Duke watched my back as we entered the restaurant. What do you think this meeting's for? They don't ever call a meeting randomly like this. You nervous? She whispered as we entered the restaurant. The fuck I need to be nervous for? Those niggas breathe the same as I do. I looked around the dark restaurant with ambient lighting. I usually hated coming here because you could barely see your food or the menu. They were so busy trying to create the ambiance that I was going blind trying to read the menu or examine my food. Jeffy shook her head. Aside from Carter, you're the youngest at the table. You should be at least a little worried about this meeting. I wasn't nervous because I always played my part. The Caselli family didn't make any noise unless noise needed to be made. We were quiet, and not too many people knew about us unless they were about to be dealt with. I ran shit peaceful and never made much noise because I didn't have to. The Eaton name was loud, while the Caselli name was quiet. You worry too much. She snorted. My job is to worry about you, Maverick. Jeffy knew I hated whenever someone called me by my government name, and she was one of the only people that honor was extended to. Jeffy was my family, and at times I like to call her my savior. She knew me better than anybody, and she often pulled me in when I felt myself slipping away. Aside from Corleone, she was someone who knew everything about me. Even if Jeffy told me tomorrow she couldn't work for me, she would always be taken care of. She had a loyalty that you didn't find anywhere else in the world. And for the Casellis, that meant everything. Loyalty wasn't something that was always extended to us. From Cora to Zoya to Landon, she had a relationship with each of us. I knew we drove her ass crazy at times too. We all had grown up together, and there was a bond between all of us that couldn't be broken. You need to focus on your own life too. Feel me? She cut her eyes at me as we continued toward the back of the restaurant. We both need to focus on our own lives. Cora, Zoya, and Landon are grown, and you need to worry about your own now. Waiters pulled the curtains back, and we entered the room with the dining table. Awaiting at the table was Ghost, Ramik, and Carter. Meeting in the middle of the day. Dramatic much? I stood at the top of the table, knowing that none of them would move to dap me up. I was particular about people touching me. It took nearly 5 years for me and Corleone to embrace. They all understood and respected that it was love and nothing personal. You're a busy man, Menace. Plus, I got some other shit coming up, so this needed to be done now. Ghost was the first one to speak. Who the fuck died? I asked, as I slumped down in the chair on the other side of the table. Jeffy made her rounds hugging each man as they asked how she was doing. After her little greeting parade, she finally sat her ass down beside me and pulled her iPad out to work, which is what she usually did at these meetings. In between eating, she would work while we hashed out whatever the meeting was being called for. Today, she wasn't so into her iPad because she wanted to know why the fuck we were here in the middle of the day. Your family's roll within the 3 families. Rami cleared his throat, cutting into his bleeding ass steak. Beating around the bush hasn't been something we've ever done, so why are we about to start now? I questioned, sitting up in the chair, snatching the menu from the waiter. I always knew what I wanted before I came to a restaurant, even though I didn't eat out much and had a chef at home that would prepare me whatever I wanted. I couldn't focus on the menu because I wanted to know the true reason for this meeting and why the fuck they wanted to talk about the Caselli's role within the 3 families. You right, Ghost cleared his throat, taking back his drink before looking at me. When you came to us about the problem you had with your uncle, we gave you the approval to proceed and take his role within the 3 families. And for that, you always had my respect and loyalty. There's nothing that you can't ask for when it comes to me. Have I not been loyal to each of you niggas? Carter nodded. You already know. Ramik finished chewing his food before he spoke. You have. However, you're a man that always holds up his end of the bargain, and you haven't. The fuck is he talking about, Ghost? I turned my attention to Ghost, who sat at the head of the table, looking between me and Ramik. You've been able to step into your uncle's role, even changing the family's name. The one thing we asked was that you take on a wife and produce an heir, which you haven't done. Fuck, I grumbled under my breath. Yeah, fuck, Carter mocked, clearly tickled that it wasn't him up on the chopping block this meeting. You wiped your family out, Menace. While I respect and support your reasons, because my daughter Sky was impacted by the sick shit that your uncle has done. You gave your word, and now it's time for you to stand on it. You need an heir and a wife. I don't care the order. His ass needs a wife, someone to calm his ass down. Free is my voice of reason, the calm within my storm. Rami took back his drink and nodded his head. Giovanna is the same to me. As much as I handle business, she's always that voice of reason, and has been that for years. Every strong man has a smart woman beside him. I looked at Carter, who nodded his head in agreement.
What? So, basically, he did all that, but they tell he still need a wife and an heir to his throne. But I said, what for? Because at the end of the day, if something really go down, they gonna go after that person. That's how you hurt them the most. So what? You want the wife and heir, so if thing goes left, you could go talk to them. Boy, bye. Why? As long as I can handle business, why do I need all that? But we'll see.
Star is my life. Couldn't do what I do without her. As much as we never agree with these old heads, I have to side with them this time, man. I'm able to run cool because of my wife. I agree, Jeffy added, and I nearly snapped my neck turning to look at her traitor ass. She was acting like my name wasn't on those...
He was like, girl, you must be on my side. And you gonna say you agree? Get the F out of here. The way I was still daggers at her. Chill, goodbye. Okay.
On those deposits that went into her account. Sorry, Mav. You do need a wife. You have to start worrying about putting down some roots of your own. Ghost smiled at Jeffy. Listen to my girl. She's kept you from going off the rails for years. She knows a thing or two. I leaned back in my seat and looked at all of them. This is a meeting to talk shit about how Menace lives his life. Why he don't got a bitch. Not a bitch. A wife. Rami corrected. And an heir. You have neither. Ghost reminded me. We need to know if something happens to you. You have that heir who will step in for your family. Landon will step in. He's not an heir, Ghost countered. So, how many times has Staten stepped in for you at times? Ghost wiped his hands inside. Steps in for me, not run shit for me. I have a son who will step in. Same. Lennox will step in when it's time, Ramik added. I looked at Carter. Nigga, I've got my heir. Being that the Vanducci and Cromwells are roped into one family technically, I'm good. He polished off the rest of his drink. They had the same talk with me. Can't help you out, homie. I rubbed my hands together and looked at them, becoming anxious and annoyed at the same time. This wasn't the conversation that I thought I would be having today. We could have discussed any damn thing. Not this. The fuck y'all want me to do? Find some random bitch off the street and make a child with her? How the fuck else you think kids are made? You gotta actually touch a woman, Meds. Ghost laughed. Even Jeffy's messy ass snickered while pretending to look at her phone. Getting pussy is never the problem. These bitches. I shuddered. Kim is not that bad, Mav. You're way too hard on her. She's not perfect. No woman is perfect. You're never going to find the perfect woman. Jeffy gave me the same speech that she seemed to have programmed in her brain. Kids are fucking dirty. Landon was the worst growing up. Nigga liked to play in the dirt. Willingly, I expressed. Ghost and Ramik both laughed. You made us a deal. We came through on our end. You need to come through on yours. I would hate to cut you out that import deal that we have with the Delgados and Infernos. You're not hurting for money, but the money we'll make from that deal? Ghost whistled. I don't know why they didn't just have me meet them at a gas station. They had us meet at this restaurant, and I didn't have a fucking appetite because my mind was in overdrive. The thought of finding a woman to share my space with and produce a child sounded like fucking torture. They should have just whooped my ass and tossed me in a cage. Scooting my ass across hot coals sounded more pleasing than having to be nice to some bitch that I didn't want, just to produce a child and give her my last name. A child that was full of fucking germs and coming from the mama who was a germ. The shit had my chest tight just thinking about it.
Oh, those of y'all who wasn't here last week, the reason why he so gets know that he said he has OCD and ADHD, so that's he was diagnosed with that. So that's something that is going on with him that he just like, I can't deal with that. So he's very meticulous and he got routine and stuff like that. So you gotta have a special person that really trying to tame that, but we'll see how that goes.
Madden's you alright? Jeffy had the nerve to ask. She looked at me picking on the skin of my thumb, and I stopped and focused my attention back to the three dickwads who decided to ruin my life this afternoon. Yeah. Kim isn't that bad, and she would make a good wife for you. I looked at Jeffy like she had spit in my face. Wow, now I have to tell Corleone that you doing that shit now? Why you put me in that awkward situation, Jeff? She rolled her eyes. Kim is very nice, and she actually put up with you. Came when you called. I would say she would make a great wife and mother. And I would say sleeping with dolphins is also safe, Jeffy. Ghost chuckled. My daughter swam with dolphins. They had a ball. And now she calls CPS when you ain't free. I pointed across the table, snatching my phone up because I was ready to go. Men, don't risk being put out of this deal. Get married and produce an heir, or step away as the third family. I heard one of them call behind me. My name was powerful, and I had connections all over the world. I had the world at my fingertips, so the threat of not being the third founding family of Staten Island should have meant shit. Except, it meant everything. In a time when everything was so murky, Ghost and Ramik trusted my word and took me under their wing. As everything was being turned over to me, and our name was being switched, it was them who was there to help me keep my head in order. As much as I couldn't wait for the day to end my uncle, it wasn't easy wiping out my family. It was something that kept me up some nights. All of them deserved hell, but it was different when you had to be the person sending them there. Stepping back as the third founded family meant losing that connection, that sense of family that we had built. We weren't the closest, and I didn't spend holidays with them. Still, I knew when I picked up that phone and needed a favor, they didn't hesitate to come through for me. If I couldn't be there for one of my siblings, I knew without a doubt that the Davis and Vanducci Cromwells would step in and take them under their wing. That was what the founding families offered each other. Loyalty, security, It wasn't some shit that could be bought or spoken about. These men had stepped up and shown me that they would be on the front lines, and I have done the same for them. And allow the fucking Amati family to step into my position. I killed for this shit. Deserve to be in this position. Ramik nodded in a proud father type of way. Then do what needs to be done. That import deal is too big for you to step away from. I don't care how many billions you have. I turned to leave as Jeffy went to say her goodbyes, and I pulled my phone out. Don's ass had called me hella times like I was his bitch or something. I picked up the phone and hit his name and listened to the call connect. Yo, we got a problem. Meet me at my crib, I replied, and ended the call. It was always we had a fucking problem. And never, Menace, we got you a gift for being great. Jeffy caught up to me, and I made sure she was in front of me as I held the door open for her, then walked around and hopped in the back. Take me to the crib, D. Got it, boss. I pulled my phone out of my pocket as I scrolled the case house request while picking with my skin. Stop doing that. We'll figure it out. I don't remember him saying you had to marry some bitch and get her pregnant. Jeffy snorted as she laughed. We don't need to focus on that right this second. I think the guys just want to see some progress that it is happening. They don't expect you to fall in love, get married, and have an heir all at the same time. I denied a request for one of our case house girls and then closed out the app, putting my head back to enjoy the rest of my ride back to my house. It was rare that I left my house for anything. My crib was designed so I never had to leave that bitch. The only time I left the crib was to leave the country, and that was to make money. I spent most of my time alone, aside from when Jeffy was around. How the fuck was I supposed to open my heart and allow someone in? Shit sounded impossible. Kim was good because she knew how to open her mouth to suck dick and her legs to take it. After that, I usually sent her on the way because she got on my nerves. Whenever I was around Kim, I felt overstimulated, from how much perfume she used to her nails clacking on her phone when she would send a text message. Not to mention the bitch kept the typing sound on her phone. Every time she came around me, I always weighed my options on how bad it would be if I killed her. Shit, it wasn't like she was useful for shit anyway. Bitch was always doing shit to fucking get me mad. We've been distant since I threw her out the villa in Monaco and accused her of fucking dogs, which I still had a suspicion of. There wasn't a...
What? Damn, Menace. You accuse her of doing something with animals? With dogs? Yeah, you don't need to be with Kim. Find somebody else. Get somebody else, because you were doing the most with this girl.
Wasn't a right woman out there for me. My own siblings barely wanted to be around me. So how was there a woman out there for me when my blood barely came around? I mean, shit, I couldn't really blame them. I wasn't the most pleasant brother growing up, and I had did some shit that some of them would never forgive me for. I always moved in love because I wanted to protect them. They never saw that part, though. It was always me being the bad guy, ruining their lives. 5. Menace. I remember when I was younger and my mother had Cora. A nigga was pissed because I wanted a little brother. All I wanted was a little brother to follow behind me and be exactly like me. I had a whole list on how I would train him and how he would listen. Back then, my parents should have known something wasn't right, because why was I, as a child, carrying around a list on how to train a little brother that I didn't have? Either way, I wanted a little brother. When I was finally blessed with one, it was years later, and the nigga didn't listen. Don was the complete opposite of me, and did whatever the fuck he wanted. The only thing I could never or would ever take away from him was the fact that he was so damn smart. He skipped a grade in second grade because of how smart he was. The teachers were trying to figure out why he was correcting them, and it was because he was bored and wasn't challenged in the classroom. Aside from being smart, he was hard-headed and did what the fuck he wanted. Going to college was something that he had no choice but to do, unless he wanted to end up panhandling on the side of the highway. Finishing college was the only way he could get his trust fund, and Don wanted that shit bad. Both Zoya and Cora had access to their trust funds and never touched it. I almost wanted to keep it from him, because I felt like he was going to go through that shit. The few times I saw him at Case House property, I warned him that they were off limits. He could fuck Wendy Williams for all I cared. Long as he didn't touch none of the women at Case House. I had strict rules when it came to crossing those lines, and Landon knew he better not have broken them. Duke came walking in from the front, smacking on an apple. Don just pulled through the gates. I nodded my head, lowering the newspaper that I was reading. Leave it to Landon to bring his head.
I'm a little low. You hear me better now? Maybe because I was too far from the mic. But let me get a little closer. All right, I'll try to be closer to the mic and be louder.
Bring his ass during my designated quiet hour. Every day for an hour, I scheduled time to read the newspaper. I liked to sit in silence because my mind was always going. Whenever I sat in my study, it was quiet, and I could actually focus on what I was doing. My mind wasn't thinking about 20 things at once, and I could enjoy reading something without thinking about all the other shit I had going on in my life. My attention span was one of a child, and the minute I got bored, I was on to the next thing. I had been the same way as a child, always unable to focus without doing a million things before doing my assignments. Though they were always right, and I passed my classes, it took a lot to get them done. It was the main reason that I had structure. Everything in my life was planned out, even when it came down for me to take a shit. I knew what I was doing for the day 2 weeks in advance. Chaos was my enemy, and I made sure to keep that shit far away from me. Something came up that I couldn't get around. Without looking up from the magazine, I replied, "You get around whatever the fuck you need to when I tell you to come see me." Landon stood there, looking like me in every way. He carried himself the same way, except he wasn't as organized and quiet as I was. Mans, my life don't fucking revolve around you. I had some shit that needed to be handled. Your life and your sister's lives revolve around me. Every time either of you need me to handle something, that's when I can get a call to ask me to stop in and mind y'all business. So yeah, when I fucking tell you to come see me, you do that shit. I looked at my watch, a Cartier crash that I gifted myself for my birthday. I spent every birthday alone. My brothers and sisters called to wish me a happy birthday and sent flowers to the house that I saw when I returned home from Aspen. Always in Aspen. I'm hungry as fuck. Landon sat his book back down and crossed the room to sit behind my desk. I bit the inside of my cheek as I watched him move the paperweight and other shit that I had strategically placed on my desk. Eat when you're done telling me this 24-hour news. He opened his laptop. I was going over Case House Vegas numbers the other day, and shit not adding up. I didn't trust many, so when it came to doing things in-house, I made sure it was my family. Landon was in college now for cybersecurity, but he had graduated with a bachelor's degree in accounting. It was Cora who told me to force him to go back for that second degree. Landon had always been into whatever Cora was in, and seeing the knowledge that he knew without a degree was some wicked shit. I don't like when shit don't add up, Don, I replied, going back to my newspaper, figuring I could finish this article while he ran down whatever to me. Me either. Ryan hit me up and told me that new nigga ain't been moving right. Said shit been missing, and he been scheduling girls for shit outside of the app. I put the newspaper down and looked across the room. Oh, word? Stealing from us is wild. Kennedy told me that he approached her first, and she told him that she only does work that is coming from the app and has your approval. The other girls that he has been using are new. Why the fuck is Kennedy telling you anything, Don? He sucked his teeth and continued on his computer. Why are we focusing on the wrong shit? I happened to be in Vegas and ran into her. Damn. Why the fuck you in Vegas, Landon? I questioned. He looked up from his computer. My fucking business. I'm not a fucking little boy no more. I'm 24.
I know that's right. I said, boy, get the fuck out of here. Shit. I gotta answer you all the damn time. I'm in Vegas because I want to be in Vegas. Point blank, period.
And don't need you worried about why I'm somewhere. I ran into Kennedy, we went to dinner, and I sent her on the way. She was out there with the girls, and I was out there with the shorty I'm messing with, and had time to go and have dinner with another woman. Lie to me again. Landon bit back his remark and then looked at me. I know because you don't have shit else to do but schedule nap times and shit, that worrying about what me, Zoya, and Cora are doing is the only entertainment that you have. I didn't come over here for a lecture about who I could be around. I'm not fucking Kennedy. I folded the newspaper up, no longer interested in the current events in the world. It's only you and Zoya that give me problems. She wants to keep fucking with the nigga whose days are limited. And you want to test the waters of Case House.
And you don't got no freaking girl and wife to air for your freaking business. So, and what? If you want to figure, you know what? You know, sometimes like that. When you want to, if you took the responsibility to step up and take care of your siblings like that, you start getting a little judgmental, try to throw things back in their face, but then you don't look into your own damn self. Child, remind me of the freaking movie I watched called, or series I watched, All Her Fault. Child, that older sibling always belittling his younger siblings, knowing that he was at fault all this time. Mm-hmm.
We're grown, mans. Respect that shit. Everybody can't be perfect like Cora. I looked at my brother and then at the book on the side table. It was wrong to toss that shit at his head. Yeah, it was wrong to throw things at him. Cora knows that I do everything in her best interest. Wherever I ever steered her wrong, it's you and Zoe's ass that need to understand the same thing, and it will be peaceful around here. This is why you spend holidays alone. He mumbled as he continued to type on his computer, and I looked at my watch.
Oops. They want to be around you. So maybe you just calm down a little bit. Maybe they be around you. You spend the holidays alone. Aww.
I hadn't spent the holiday with my siblings since they went away to college. They used to come home. Then that stopped. Holidays weren't big in our family, and they usually just sent holiday wishes in the form of a text message. Last Christmas, Cora came over and chilled with me for the day. Me and Cora were naturally closer than the younger siblings. When me and Cora stuck together, Landon and Zoe did the same thing. Of course they would. They were the two causing me the most headaches with their bullshit. Zoe did everything when it came to going to college and then law school, down to her career. When it came to her personal life, she didn't take any advice and did shit to spite me. She knew her niggas' days were limited, and she wanted to lay up with them and play stepmother. Zoe's ass loved to shop, so I knew her ass had some designer black outfit to wear when they lowered that nigga in the ground. Like I was saying, Don snapped his fingers, getting my attention, because I was focused on something else. These new bitches and that new nigga that Ryan put on been stealing. Landon Bob, trying to figure out where my head was at. I could overlook a lot of shit, except stealing from me. I was very generous with my team, and they knew as long as I was eating, they would be too. When I took over Case House, my uncle had them eating scraps. He was always deducting money from them for some stupid ass reason. The houses that we owned for Case House, he had them paying him rent, as if they lived there. The houses were only used when clients didn't want to go to their own hotels. We never allowed the girls to go to a client's personal home. It was either one of our homes, where there was security and privacy, or they would use a hotel, where security and privacy was also an option. There was never a reason for anybody to steal from me, not when I would give the shirt off my back for my girls. I would do anything for them because of their loyalty and how they made sure Case House remained the best. The reason I was so passionate about Case House was because my father was. Aside from his kids and wife, his love was Case House and making it what it was until my uncle stepped in. That nigga turned it from high-class escorts to a damn brothel. No health care for the women, paying them whatever he wanted, and the condition of the houses were deplorable. I remember visiting the first house after everything was transferred to me, and I made one of the girls go to the nearest store and get cleaning supplies. I cleaned that bitch from top to bottom. Cleaning calmed me and centered me. In that moment, I needed to be centered because I wanted to kill my uncle for the second time, and he was already dead. I went to meet with Ryan while he's in town, and he showed me the amount of money they're making. This ain't no little shit, man. Landon looked at me. How do you want to proceed with this? What do you have? I relaxed in the chair and listened to my brother break everything down. Landon was like Cora and could find anything out with just a few strokes of a keyboard. He was a headache any other time. However, when he had a computer in front of him, there was a sense of peace that I saw in him. Nigga was sending the money to his bitch, and she was sending it to a friend's account. Stevie Ray, you ain't gonna believe what the fuck I found out. What? She's related to Skylar. That's her cousin. I knew the name sounded familiar, so I went and looked her up, and she's the one that's been receiving the money into her account. I stood up and started pacing with my hands behind.
Oh, yes. So Now we got the connection. Because Priscilla, that dusty ass best friend of Stevie, which I said I cannot trust that Priscilla. Something's wrong. She was taking money, getting money for some freaking sugar daddy that she said she's getting. And it was an offshore account, and she was taking that money and depositing in Stevie's Ray account and tell Stevie Ray to take some money and then give back the rest of the money. I said, girl, why you don't have your own account? And what's going on here? Something's tricky. So I think she's doing something with that money. It's going to trip her up. And they're going to get Stevie Ray involved in some way, shape, or form. And like I said, I was like, Stevie Ray, you're already involved. Because why would you be so dumb enough to have her just deposit money in your account, just deposit money in your account like that? Oh.
Hands behind my back. Now Cole gonna be all in his feelings because I killed Skylar's cousin. Landon laughed and I turned to look at him and he dropped a smile. Mans, you dead serious? She fucking stealing from me. Hell yeah. Landon relaxed back in the chair. I don't think she knows about the shit. She really thinks she's helping a friend out. A friend is sending you large amounts of money and you don't question the shit? Landon raised his...
Right? Like I say, listen. Stevie. Oh, just poor girl. Just poor girl, Stevie. We'll see how you go, girl. But that... People are trying to warn Stevie. Sydney was trying to warn Stevie. And I think her cousin Sky trying to warn Stevie. And about Priscilla. And she said, that's my only best friend I have right now. I'm a grown adult. You can't tell. I said, all right. You gonna wish you listened then.
Raised his eyebrow. Have you ever met Stevie? She would help a burglar rob her damn house. I want them brought to me, her included. Before I could even call her, Jeffy came into the room with my smoothie. What's that look you both giving me? You know Stevie, right? Yes, Skylar's cousin. She slowly dragged her words while looking between me and my brother. That bitch a thief. She's not, Don added. Jeffy handed me my smoothie and looked between us. What are you talking about? Stevie is in the Bahamas right now living her best life. You know all that information and ain't tell me? I thought we were family, Jeff. I looked at her with a serious expression and she shook her head, dug in her pocket, and put a napkin onto the desk. Good looks. Lupita makes the best fucking macaroons. Don tore into the napkin and devoured the first one. My macaroons that my chef made just for me. Jeffy, why the fuck? I knew Landon was coming over and had Lupita make a few extras. The 17 you always request are in the kitchen, Maverick. She cut me off and sat on the edge of the desk. About Stevie, what does she have to do with anything that you have going on? The bitch is a thief. I repeated for the second time. She was acting like she couldn't hear or something. Jeffy cut her eyes at me and turned toward Don for answers. I don't think she knew she was transferring stolen money into her account. Stevie is a little bit out there. Jeffy agreed with Landon. Well, she can be a bit out in that grave when I get my hands on all the motherfuckers. Get the jet fueled and go with Duke to bring them to me. You're not going? Don questioned. Jeffy snickered. You know he don't take spontaneous trips. He has to know about them well in advance. Stupid superstition. She eased up from the desk and walked toward the door. You right. I ain't lived with this nigga in so long that I forgot some shit. He went back to doing whatever on the computer, and I sat back down in my chair. Mans, you cannot kill Skylar's cousin. Don't think I asked you, Jeffy, I replied, snatching my newspaper, then tossing it across the room. The fucking stealing from me. I give them fucking everything, and they stealing from me? I roared, pissed. Greed. Jeffy folded her arms, probably feeling lonely since she wasn't holding that damn iPad in her hands. They spending big money too. Hacked into her bank account. Wilshire, Bahamas? Sheesh. Don whistled as he was scrolling through what I assumed was her transactions. Dior, Gucci, Prada? Bitch has expensive taste. I was becoming angrier by the second. I'll go and get everything set for the Jad. Remember, you cannot kill her, Mans. She gave me that look on her way out, and I ignored her ass. Why the fuck you still here? I grumbled and left out the room. First you mad I didn't show up, now you throwing me out. Dawn smacked on macaroons while I headed down the hall to go into the bottom level to my gym. My blood was boiling, and only one thing could control the feeling I got when my blood was hot. Running on the treadmill until I felt like I was going to fucking vomit.
6. Stevie. Stevie, I thought you cut things off with him ever since your last date with him. Priscilla looked over my shoulder as she plopped in the chair across from me with a plate filled with food. What did happen on that date? We were in a lounge at the airport waiting to board our flight. I was still shocked that I was going on a trip and we were flying first class. I had never been in an airport lounge in my life. This was how the other half lived, because who filled up on all this food before a flight? Rich people, that's who. I looked at the string of text messages that Cornell had been sending me. He was worried that I was going to air him out on social media. He didn't care that he tried to take advantage of me. Nell was worried that me speaking out would get him kicked off the tour with Zay. If Zay knew he had a creep in his camp, he would for sure make sure he was good as gone. Nothing but positive things surrounded Zay and his career, aside from the beef with his ex-fiancé. Priscilla was stuffing her face with crab bites as she waited for me to answer. He's been reaching out to me, trying to apologize because he had taken something that night. He's trying to save face because his best friend is cousins with Zay. Priscilla screwed her face up. Even more reason to cut him off. He's not even direct friends with Zay, and he's being weird with you like he's important. She looked truly disgusted. Yeah. Priscilla polished off the rest of her crab bites and then wiped her mouth. Girl, we're about to be on a resort toasting to the good life, and you are over here being depressed. Leave Cornell and his weirdness alone. What you need to do is be messing with these get money niggas. I don't want to mess with any.
Hey, girl, what the hell are you messing with? According to freaking Menace, you stole that money. So, girl, you ain't nobody.
With any kind of man right now. The experience has been a 0 out of 10 starts. Priscilla checked her phone. You just haven't met the right one. I guess I can say the same thing, too. Isn't your boyfriend the whole reason we're going on this trip? I questioned as I took a sip of my cucumber water. Priscilla dramatically pulled her head back while letting out this rich bitch laugh. Stevie, you need to realize every man ain't meant to be your boyfriend. I play the game like these men play it, and he probably has other hoes. He's gonna fly in, so I may be with him too. I didn't care if she told me she was going to swim with the pigs. As long as I had a drink, my current read of the month, and sun, I didn't care what Priscilla did with her time. As we recalled...
Oh, you go better care. You go to better care. That freaking money you spending up, you go to better care sooner or later. But all right, girl, you could join your little latte, you could join your little margaritas, you could join your little mimosas in the sun, in the beach. Go ahead, enjoy it. Join, girl.
Called to board, it was an entire new experience being able to get on the plane before everyone and being offered drinks soon as we sat down. Priscilla kept her sunglasses on as she flipped through the menu and acted like she belonged. It was hard for me to act like I belonged because I didn't belong here. First class was a dream to me, something I had never experienced. This was all new to me, so I was taking everything in while recording and sending it to Skylar. Her dry responses told me that she was still pissed that I went on the trip. She spent the entire night while I packed last-minute things telling me that something didn't feel right and I should stay. She even offered to take me to the Bahamas and we could bring Estella. The girl tried everything to get me to stay, and when she realized I was going, she gave me money to make sure I was safe. Skylar meant well, but she had to realize that I was older than her and didn't need my little cousin telling me how I should live my life. Skylar had always been mature for her age, always worrying and always doing what was right. I think the one thing she did that was out of the ordinary for her was getting pregnant. When she first moved to New York for college, we weren't as close because she was living her life with her friends and getting the taste of freedom. Every time I saw her, she was on the go and living her life with the wrong people. Something changed, and she got back to the Skylar that I knew, the girl that was serious about what she wanted out of life. When her mother passed, she became more guarded and stricter with her life. I understood. She had Estella to care for now, and she couldn't rely on her father to help her. Bottoms up. Priscilla handed me a shot, and I took it back as the plane got ready to take off. To a vacation that we'll never forget. I smiled as we clinked glasses and got ready to enjoy ourselves on this trip. I needed this. The Wilshire Hotel in the Bahamas was beautiful. The 6-star resort was everything I didn't know I needed in my life. The minute we landed, they...
6-star. So what's this? What's up in the 6-star? What included in this 6-star resort? Is it unlimited food? That'll be great. And drinks. That'd be great. You get a massage every night? That'd be great.
They sent a tinted, air-conditioned SUV to the airport that whisked us to the hotel. We were able to check in at a private counter where they handed us champagne and snacks while they got everything squared away. The night before, Priscilla had transferred money into my account, so we used my card to place a hold on our accommodations while we were here. I didn't care because the $40,000 she had sent to me was more than enough to cover us for this week. We had been here for 2 days, and I had only had breakfast with Priscilla. I know I said I was good with having a book and sun, but I wanted some girl talk too. She only spent the night in our suite the first night, and this morning she came strolling in the suite looking like someone nailed her to the cross. Her hair was all over her head and...
Because she had 304. Maybe she had 304. You don't know, the Bahamas 304 around here. Girl, what you doing? Who you sticking at? Who you messing with? Okay, you know, you gotta be careful with the 304s. There is that. There is that.
And makeup smeared. She wore the same clothes from the night before, as she smiled when she saw me at the table in the kitchen. Yes, the suite had a whole kitchen. Good morning. Someone looks like they had a good night, I grumbled, taking a sip of the green tea that I made. She fanned herself and went to the coffee machine, pushing a pot in and leaning on the counter. That nigger broke my fucking back last night. Girl, you need to come out tonight with us. I had no desire to be around Priscilla's boyfriend or the men he was with. She claimed he came with a few friends, and I didn't want to be the friend that had to make useless conversation because my girl was with their boy. I thought we would hang out today. Maybe go to the beach or sit by the pool and try all their drinks. I got excited at the thought of just us girls hanging out. Priscilla's face told me that she would rather eat dolphin shit than do what I suggested. It was weird because she invited me. And as much as I knew we didn't need to hang every moment of the day, I thought we would at least hang a bit. Other than my cousin and Priscilla, I didn't have any friends. I remember my mother always pushing me to make friends, thinking that everybody wanted to be friends with the girl who rambled and struggled with ADHD. They all thought I was weird, and I hated being the weird girl. I craved a...
Oh, maybe you and Menace might get along really well.
A friendship outside of my cousin where I could just be Stevie. As much as I was close with Skylar, I often felt like she was forced to be my friend, as if she felt bad that her older cousin was a loner who would rather spend her nights painting or watching anime. We can go shopping today. There's a few stores I want to hit before my date tonight. Oh, Stevie, I will cover anything that you want. Remember, this trip is on me. You should come out tonight with us. His friend is fine. Finer than...
So she gonna be a 304 like you? No, thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, Priscilla.
Than him. She winked, as if that would seal the deal for me. I wanted nothing to do with a fine friend, or any man for that matter. I actually have plans tonight, I lied. While Priscilla was out being slutted out, I was going to fill that huge tub with bubbles, listen to my favorite playlist, and relax while watching an Adam Sandler movie, my comfort movies. When my mother passed away, I stayed held up in our apartment watching Grown-Ups for weeks. I didn't even switch between part 1 or 2. I continued to watch part 1. I could recite the entire movie without a second thought. Actually, I liked to think of it as a hidden talent, and I knew it was going to get me out of trouble one day. She grew excited as she quickly ushered over toward the table and scooted in the chair. Was it that cute bartender that kept flirting with you? Yes. I lied, knowing that she wouldn't let up until she was satisfied that I was with someone. As much as I admired my friend, I could also point out that she was very motivated by men. Men were her entire life, and that...
Because she a 304. What you don't know? What you don't know? Now I don't know if she is one. I just making that up, but that's a matter. But we all know they introduce her that she always had men giving her money, and she don't want to work in all that because she get money from men. But I said, how many of that men that money is actually given to her or stolen? And like I felt like the fact that she coming late on staying out all night and come home this morning, yeah, she 304.
And that wasn't my reality. I didn't need a man to live. The one man that should have been there for me never was. He was too busy doing and being everything else to anyone beside his daughter and wife that needed him, wanted him home. I had only experienced love when it was broken, never when it was whole, never when it felt like an old school song. The heartbreak is what I witnessed. The disappointment of the person you vowed to do life with. All of that scared me. And aside from the Tony situation, it caused me to shut men out. My mother thought she would have the man she married forever. He promised to love her right before God. He gave her his word, and the minute that the signature on the certificate dried, he was doing him, breaking those very promises he had given her. I never wanted a love like that to find me. 7. Stevie. A bunch of bags sat at our feet as we sat at an ice cream shop in the resort. Priscilla said she wanted to do damage when it came to shopping, and she did exactly that. We had went to every designer store and boutique that was on the resort, and she swiped my card and purchased everything. I got a pair of shoes and some things for both Skylar and Estella. As much as I loved to shop, I didn't want to spend the day in and out of stores. I wanted to explore the Bahamas, do a few excursions, lay out by the pool, and actually enjoy the trip. Aside from shopping, Priscilla continued to stop because her boyfriend kept asking her where she was. When she put that baby voice on, I knew it was him on the phone and rolled my eyes. I realized today that the rest of this trip would be filled with me being alone, doing what I wanted to do. She wanted to stick up her boyfriend's ass, and I wasn't about to beg her to hang out with me.
And you don't. They go ahead and do what you got to do. You keep talking about it. Go be about it. Chill. And why she don't have her own card? Yeah, we know.
Are you sure you don't want to come tonight? His friend says he wants to meet you, and you've been hiding. She sipped her milkshake while I enjoyed my cone. It made me real uneasy how she kept trying to push her boyfriend's friend on me. Every time he called, she would ask me if I was sure, as if I didn't make it clear multiple times that I didn't want to hang with them. Priscilla vouching for them meant nothing to me. She switched men like wigs. So did she really know any of these men well? Exactly. I have my own plans, remember? I reminded her like I had been doing each time she asked me. She giggled. Girl, nothing is off the table with them. Big money. I've never fucked with a nigga that has money like this. Girl is damn near spilling out his pockets. I love this for you. She was so tickled as she swung her crossed legs while looking at her phone. I could love it for you too, but you want to play hard to get. How about we come back to our suite later on? How about you don't? I smiled. Fine, Miss Boring. How do you expect to ever find a boyfriend if you never open yourself up to being loved? You think a man that's not even your boyfriend and his friends is where I'm going to find love? Her phone chimed and she jumped up.
Yeah, you say you got some love about love. Girl, you ain't no love your damn self. So what you talking about? Or you love about the act of money. Or started that of. But girl, you don't know nothing about love to try to preach me about something. Ugh. And who is this friend? Describe this friend you keep talking about. Go palm you on the friend. Girl, why you don't mess with your friend and you keep talking about it?
Oh, we need to be getting back to the suite. He told me what time he's coming to get me. My baby is taking me to an exclusive restaurant on the resort. Fancy, I muttered, as I helped her collect all the bags so we could make the trek back to our suite. The suite was nice and quiet now that Priscilla was gone. Between the music, the chatter with her other friends on FaceTime, and trying on a dozen outfits before settling on one that looked like it needed more material, she was finally gone. Of course, she couldn't leave until she asked me if I was sure I didn't want to go. This time, I closed the door in her face and locked it while heading to my room to take a relaxing bath. She wouldn't be back tonight, and I knew it from the way she popped her birth control and washed it down with rum. I've always suspected that Priscilla was a wild card. Other than drinks and a few dinners, we've never been on vacation together. It was like being in a relationship with a man, and you didn't really know him until you moved in with him. Even though she hadn't been in our suite that much, I could see her differently than the friend I was always excited to see when she made time for me. I used to stare at her in admiration because she played these men like they played us. That admiration was slowly fading away, and I was seeing her as thirsty and money hungry. All that man had to do was call, and she was breaking her leg to go run to be with him. That was pretty far from.
I mean, is she playing the men? I know sometimes people act like, yes, she might be getting money out of them, but oh, you playing them or they using you? Because sometimes when it involves money is involved and they give it out that much money, they hold most of the weight. They usually hold most of the weight. But okay, let's see if she really playing this man because what I'm seeing, she messed with the wrong one or the right one, and we're gonna find out.
from being cool, calm, and collective. Skylar, if anyone, showed me how it was to be cool when it came to a man. She had Corleone head over heels for her, and the man would give her the world if she asked. Not that she acted unbothered. She also didn't jump at his every move. I drizzled the hotel bubble bath into the water and lit a few candles I got from the gift shop on the way up to our suite as I listened to Fire and Desire by Rick James. I moved my hips as I listened to Rick talk his shit. This was my favorite song in the entire world. I remember singing into a brush with my mother in our living room. We would sing this song at the top of our lungs, then bust out in a fit of giggles. Love! I belted out as I did a fake striptease, as if I was doing it for my man. Wishful thinking. I flung the shirt across the room while rocking my hips from side to side. Then I dipped my toe into the water. The water was the perfect temperature as the rest of my body followed, and I did a happy shiver, allowing the warm water to engulf my body. With my eyes closed and the music blaring, I inhaled the sweet, salty mix of the candle and felt more relaxed than I had in a long time. My body was literally loosening up by the seconds as I settled into this tub. I wanted to feel this warm, this safe, and this relaxed for the rest of my life. The thought of returning home back to the hustle and bustle of my life made me cringe and my jaw clench. My life wasn't all bad. I just didn't know what was next for me. Since I lost my mother, I had been trying to figure out what was next. What was Stevie Ray supposed to do? I had no sign from her, and at this point, not even God could tell me what was next for me. Nails paid the bills, barely, but that wasn't my passion. It fell into my lap and aligned with the fact that I loved to create art. Painting had always been my first love, and I have loved it since I was a child, except being an artist didn't pay the bills. It was a nice hobby to have. However, I couldn't feed myself on it, especially since I could never finish a piece. There were so many unfinished pieces in the living room at home that drove Skylar crazy. She hated that I clouded our living space with my unfinished canvases, and even tried to hold an intervention to get me to stop buying them. No matter how many times I put one to the side, unfinished, I found myself at the art store scanning my rewards card to get discounted canvases. I held my breath and went under the water and remained there for a few seconds before I came back up, opening my eyes and nearly stopping my heart at the same exact time. Ah! I screamed as I tried to gather the bubbles to cover my chest up. Between the music, my heart thumping in my ears, and the sound of my screams, I was overstimulated, scared, and on the verge of passing out. The man standing in front of me was large. He had to wait.
Ah! Girl, you waking up and you see somebody just staring at you, that's weird. How the hell he got in that freaking place? To set her up. I cannot trust that news. You gonna be standing there with me when I'm in my freaking tub, and you wanna say a people word, just staring?
To weigh over 350 pounds of muscle, and he was tall. Even though I was sitting in the tub, I'm sure if I stood next to him, he would tower over me. His caramel complexion, thick beard, and freshly twisted locks were in rope twists pushed back out of his face. His thick eyebrows, dark, menacing eyes, and pink lips were just staring at me. His arms were covered in tattoos as he stood there looking at me, Like he wasn't invading my privacy by not only being in my hotel suite, but my bathroom too. It was then that I noticed he was holding something in his hand, and it was clothes, my clothes. I'm going to step out the bathroom so you can change into these. Try something, and I'll make this TV fall in the water with you. Got it?
Oh, I got it. I can't. Oh, I got it, sir. You can't electrocute me today. My good deliciousness. You can't be electrocuting me. I will get dressed. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be right out there in a minute. You going muscle bound. You about to break me in half. I can't do that. Right, got it. Exactly. Joe. The way it is. Already naked as it is, you did not electrocute me today. I would thank you. I would get dressed real quick, fast, in a hurry. 2.5 seconds.
Followed a huge lump that was in my throat and slowly nodded my head. My hands were shaking and my chest was tight. Sir? He paused his stride and looked at me.
Right? She got to describe him. I said, oh, you fantasizing? You were fantasizing, I said, fuck all that. I don't care how good he looked. I said, you're not going to threaten me to kill me in here. And you were staring at me too?
I really think I'm going to pass out. Why did I admit this to a strange man in the bathroom of my suite? I was scared, and you often did things that you wouldn't have done if you weren't. Me and Skylar always used to play hypothetical games where we would predict how we would act if something happened. A strange man in my suite on vacation wasn't a scenario we ever practiced for. You don't pay me enough for this shit. Who doesn't pay you? He snatched the towel from the heated towel rack, opened it up, and walked toward the tub. Step out slowly. Hurry the fuck up, he barked as he held up the towel and looked the opposite direction. My legs felt like rubber.
Let me looking away. You ain't saw my motherfucking nakedness. You better just watch. Fuck. I get out when I get out. I'm gonna get out. You better just look at the goodiness. Shit. Now you want to be all shy about it. No, you ain't saw the body, so you might just want to hold the towel up and keep looking at me until you wrap that towel around my body. Point blank, period. Let me stop talking. Let me stop.
Rubber when I stepped out the tub. My breathing labored because I was calculating if I could bolt across this bathroom and get some help for myself. This was one of those moments I wished that I would have gone out with Priscilla and her boyfriend. I quickly slipped on the clothes he had for me, and he snatched the towel down and went into his pocket. Hold this, his deep voice said, as he grabbed me up and put a cloth over my mouth, and my eyes became blurry until everything eventually faded to black.
Oh, shit.
8. Menace. Duke pulled up to one of the warehouses I owned on South Avenue in Staten Island. I owned a bunch of warehouses all over the city, some empty and some functioning businesses. This one happened to be empty. It had been a week since I had Duke go and snatch Sticky Fingers and her friends. He opened the door, and I hopped out, going around to open the door for Jeffy. Maverick, you listen to me. Keep a calm head. I already don't like that she's been here for a week and I've been quiet to Skylar. I stopped in my tracks and looked at Jeffy, one of my best friends. Shit, I would go as far to say she was my damn heart because there was no one closer to me than her. Corleone counted, but me and Jeffy were soulmates. Not no freaky shit either. She understood me like her mother did, and for that I would always have a high respect for her. You remember that Skylar may be your freaky sister wife, but I'm family, your soulmate. Right? Jeffy pointed her finger into my chest. Me and Skylar are not sleeping together, Maverick. I've told you that already. I have a loyalty to both of you, and Stevie is innocent, and you're going to see for yourself. Let's not bring this soulmate mess up. Just because you went down a rabbit hole on platonic soulmates doesn't mean we're about to have this conversation again. She turned on her feet and walked through the door that Duke held open for us. Where the fuck are they? I said I'm on my way, had Duke give you the ETA, and here I am in this stink-ass warehouse, and I don't see them in the chairs with their mouths gags and wigs in their laps. Boss, you never said that was the plan. One of the flunkies looked at me, and I had half the mind to pull my gun and empty it into his chest because I was so pissed. The curly head one kept crying, so we kept her in the back. Mans, she had a panic attack twice. Beans, one of my top generals, and Don's best friend replied, I don't have time for this shit. I rubbed my temples and took a seat in the chair that was set up for me. The only thing these niggas had ready for me. Bring me out that nigga and his bitch first. One of Bean's flunkies went to the back, and I heard him hollering before two others brought out a man and a woman with cloth sacks over their heads. Please don't kill me, please. I know we did, but I promise we can fix it. The woman's muffled voice sounded through the bag. I stood up as they slammed them both down in the chair, and she broke out in a hysterical scream. Your ass wasn't fucking crying when you were stealing, huh? I snatched the bag from her head, and she jumped back because of how close I was to her face. Your breath smells like fucking kangaroo pussy, bitch.
Ooh!
She took a note.
Oh, no. Oh, girl, your breath is stinking, girl. Your breath is stinking. Oh. Hope that's not good, Priscilla. Thinking her boyfriend was going to freaking rob and steal from him.
Took a large gulp and closed her mouth as her body shook and she tried to calm herself. I haven't been able to brush my teeth or shower. Do you think there's showers in hell? Tears poured down her face at my question. No. She tried to get out, and it came out all chopped and screwed because she was bawling. Then why the fuck do you think you're getting a shower and pillow service in my hell? The whimpering from her was driving me fucking crazy. I didn't bother to snatch the cloth bag off homie's face. I swung my arm back and sent it crashing into his face. The blow from my head knocked his ass and the chair to the floor as he howled. I don't know how it was possible for Shorty to have even more tears, but she was a blubbering mess. We couldn't understand what the hell she was over there crying about because she was a fucking mess. Speak with your mouth and make sure I understand everything you're saying, because I'll pull every tooth out your mouth with twine around each tooth in that metal door over there. I snarled while staring in her face. She took a deep breath and tried to contain herself as best as she could, while her boyfriend was on the floor howling. My friend, she was with us and she is single. You can have her. You steal from me.
I know you didn't. See, you know what? See? She gonna let her friend out and say, oh, my friend's single, you gonna have her. So you gonna try to negotiate her in your behalf? Use her as collateral so you get out of the danger you put? Oh my gosh. And see, Stevie, this is exactly why your freaking cousin and your freaking boss at the job was telling you about. And this is the facility talking about, which I'm thinking is her. She ratted you out and said, oh, my friend is single, you gonna have her.
Me and then offer your friend's pussy and think that's gonna get me to change my mind on sending you through the meat processor in the back room. Oh God! She shrieked to herself as she tried to find the words. Anything that would save her from being killed and turned into ground meat. She's a virgin? Jeffy scoffed.
What? Oh, and then you gonna tell her status? Oh, you a fucking snaky bitch. I'm sorry to say that. You know, whatever. Ooh. Not only you offer her up, now you gonna say she's a virgin? Go from behind me. Oh, word? She must have thought her friend's virgin status was going to save her. I mean, I was intrigued because she was untouched. Nobody had soiled her, which meant she was clean. Squeak. Oh, child. Just like a man, huh?
Squeaky clean. It made me all that more interested in her. Yes, you can take her as your wife or whatever. She's always complaining about not finding the right guy. I motioned for them to pick up homie while he was still over there moaning in pain while choking on his blood. When they snatched the bag from his head, his entire jaw was out of place. The bottom half was more...
Right? That fucking dusty trick. Oh. Now she said, oh, she always complaining you don't have a man, you gonna make her a wife. Now, it might work for his advantage because he does need a wife and everything. But I'm not expecting you just gonna sold me to him. Fuck out of here. Exactly. They say don't go on vacation with so-called friends. Exactly. Friends you gotta be suspicious about. She just dropping all money and just tell you we gonna go Bahamas like that and no explanation. Goodbye, I ain't going with you. And now you want to figure vacation for hell. And now because I believe his brother or whoever it is went to get Stevie. Now she's on her way there. Wow, this freaking dusty ass friend is selling her out. Oh.
Was more to the left than the top. So, this is the nigga with the bigger dick than mine, huh? He was trying to say something, and I couldn't make out what he said. So I kicked his ass in the chest with my sneaker, sending him back onto the floor, squealing in pain. Like they had done seconds before. They lifted him back up. I didn't know, man, he stuttered, speaking out the side of his mouth, while I looked over at his girlfriend who was staring at him horrified. He got a big dick. She looked at me as if she didn't know if she could answer the question or not. Yeah. Big enough for you to die over, right? No.
Right? This girl just tell her, oh, she a virgin. She did that. I said, bitch, you trying to be a scaredy pimp or something? Like, what the hell is this?
Please, no. My best friend. You can have her. Who the fuck are you to even offer her up? Jeffy's voice floated through the warehouse as she stood with her arms folded, truly disgusted with the woman's actions. Her actions were disgusting. However, she had me intrigued with her best friend. Bring her ass out. Beans went to the back and was gone for a few seconds before he nicely walked the woman out. She wore a bag over her head as she spoke to him. Thank you so much for not putting them on me this time. Last time it dug into my skin. Her voice was low and sweet. Little fucking thief had the nerve to be kind and have a beautiful voice, and I hadn't even seen her fucking face yet. No problem, Stevie. I looked at Beans and he shrugged. She's nice. Not like this bitch who spit in my fucking face. He kicked the other shorty's chair and she yelped. Priscilla, are you all right? I asked him about you. She asked about her friend, clearly worried about her well-being, not knowing her friend offered up her virginity on a silver.
Yeah, Stevie, that's your 34. You always freaking care for the freaking messed up people. Wrong you and you still care for them. Mm-hmm. Now, hope she realize. Well, she don't know that her friends sold her out, but hope she find out sooner or later and see how nice she still gonna be. But then again, she probably still be nice.
Silver platter. Beans carefully sat her down into the chair, and she sat there with her hands folded like she was waiting to be interviewed for a job. He looked at me, and I nodded for him to remove the bag from her face. Carefully, because clearly Beans was being nice cop, he removed the sack from her face. I couldn't even front. I didn't expect for my heart to hit the inside of my chest like it did when he removed it. Her strawberry blonde curls were flattened to her head. Thick eyebrows were perfectly arched, and her cute button nose sat right in the center of her face, making you look down to her pouty pink lips. They were dry, and she realized it because she quickly licked them as she stared at me. Freckles dusted the top of her nose and under her amber eyes. Her almond complexion had a slight tan to it, which...
Ooh, you describing her like that for? Ooh, you get turned on. He get turned on, y'all. Maybe the best friend is a good deal, but that's fucked up, though. He giving all the description about her.
Which was to be expected since he was on a trip with my fucking money. As she sat there, her thighs filled the chair. I wasn't paying attention to her body much when I walked out here, but from the way her thighs and hips filled the chair, she was thick. Her hands unfolded, and she quickly hugged her arms, which were bare. She rubbed them as she looked away from me. Here you go, Stevie. Beans came back with a pair of glasses.
He thinking about that tight. Yes, he is. He was thinking about it. He got that tight goosh. He got the boom boom. Boom boom tonight that the might not to cheat. Folk take a picture. That's right, Spice. Ew.
And she put the circular glasses on, and that's when my brow raised. Little sexy blonde ass couldn't even see me, because once she saw me, she felt really self-conscious sitting in front of me. I could tell she was looking over herself and trying to fix how she sat. Homie slowly peeled his eyes from me onto her and nearly knocked his own self out the chair. Stevie? Her head snapped in his direction. Ray? Stevie, what in the fuck? Shorty in the middle looked between her dude and Stevie. You know him? That's my damn father. The way she said father told me he wasn't a good one, and they didn't have...
Ooh, not the father. The father that's not around. So he messing around your fucking best friend? Ooh, because he always is in trouble. He was never around. He was an addict.
We didn't have a relationship with each other. Oh, this shit interesting. I pulled my seat up, flipping it in the opposite direction and taking a seat. So, how did you meet? I rested my face in the palm of my hand as I spoke to Shorty in the middle, while she squirmed in her chair. In Vegas. Oh, when he was stealing money from me? I could hear Jeffy's heels entering the warehouse again, and Stevie looked past me. Jeffy? What is going on? Jeffy rushed over toward her side and checked her over, pissing me off. She was acting like I wasn't conducting business. Her ass was lucky that I could tell Sexy over there wasn't involved. The girl was acting like she didn't know why she was kidnapped from another country and held in a warehouse for a week. You were stealing from Case House, Stevie. I know you didn't know because you would never. But why would you trust her? Jeffy tossed, showing her disgust up close instead of across the warehouse. Stevie shook her head and quickly pushed her glasses up. I would never steal from someone. I mean, I do eat the grapes in the grocery store, but I get hungry at times, and a few grapes isn't that bad. It's the...
We actually on little freaking low misdemeanor crimes. Oh, chill, poor. Bless your heart, girl. Bless your heart.
Still stealing, Cleo? I barked. Cleo? She asked. Yeah, you and your set it off crew thought you were hitting a lick. Jeffy rubbed her shoulders. Skylar has been worried about you. She warned you about this one. Gosh, I hate being caught in the middle. Her head snapped up in Jeffy's direction. No, she cannot find out about this. I will tell her my phone fell in the pool or something. How you gonna do that when you're dead, sweetheart? Stevie turned her head toward me and slowly took a deep breath. That is true. I want my last words to be that I didn't steal from you. I steal grapes from the grocery store, not money. Priscilla, tell them about the money Ray was sending you. Wait a minute. Why do you call your father by his name? I was so...
Yeah, right? Everybody say that don't steal, but eat the grapes at the grocery store sometimes. But first of all, it's supposed to be washed up anyway. You don't just want to eat grapes from the grocery store. Chill. I don't do that. Got bottles here, but that costs about £1. That thing went adds up.
So damn interested in her little nerdy fine ass. Yo, Ray, why you see calling you by your name? He was over there in pain, trying to keep his eyes open, because that punch I delivered was going to have him in pain for the next week. Since her mother passed, she didn't want to be close. Wrong. I called you, needed you, and you weren't there. I had to bury her alone, and you showed up late to her funeral. Her voice cracked. Matter of fact, go on and kill me already so I don't have to have this conversation. Her legs started to shake as Jeffy rubbed her shoulders. No, please, don't kill me. I was bluffing. I don't want to die, Mr. Sir. Menace, I replied. Mr. Menace? She corrected herself as she looked into my eyes, pleading for me to spare her life. Something that I had already been told that I had to do because she was family. How the fuck was she family when Skylar wanted to be Miss Independent Woman, and I wanted to fuck this little quirky shorty in front of me? Menace, I corrected her again. She straightened up. I hate when people call me Steve, so I get it. Please don't kill me. I looked over at her father, and then shorty in the middle that was holding on to every word that came out of Stevie's mouth. Why you letting people put money in your account? I have a credit union. I don't know if you know how that works, but not if he owns one, Stevie, Jeffy informed her. She gulped. Well, I thought it was that. I didn't know she accidentally stole from you. You don't accidentally steal from me. I guess that's true. Jeffy whispered something, and she remained quiet as I pulled my gun from behind me and shorty hollered out, I'm so sorry. I thought it was his money. You thought my money was his money, and her pussy is yours, right? I looked over at Stevie, who was confused. Your friend offered you up, said you were virgin. What? She whispered as she looked down at her hands. She was disassociating, and I never gave a fuck about what someone said or felt. But I felt something when I looked at how hurt she was. Here she was trying to get them out of trouble, and her friend offered her virginity the first second she opened her mouth. Stevie, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to die. And he fine as hell. It's not going to be bad. I looked at her and watched as Jeffy looked at me. Stop, Jeff. I didn't say nor do anything. She continued to rub her shoulders as she shot the friend a stink eye. I can cook. I can make you something good to eat. Just not that.
Yes, girl, you have played your games. Good, I can cook. I can clean. I got the tight pussy. I got the new like more okay, stop. You gotta kill me. Can you not kill me? I go buy groceries. I can do laundry. Can I just do stuff for you, please? Can I work it out? Please. Please don't kill me. I do all that. I can be your wife. I can be no kids. Come on. Just don't do it. Just don't do it, Mr. Menace. Hey, Mr. Menace. You about to have your wife. Now, even though it's a freaking agreement, but hey, you may end up liking her. She said, look, she could cook it clean. She thick on the right places, too.
Not that, please, she pleaded, and my fucking stomach dropped. I looked down at my gun and aimed it near Shorty's leg, firing a shot at the floor near her. She toppled over onto the floor trying to get away while Ray did the same. Stevie was so damn hurt that the gunshot didn't faze her. You not his wife? Try to cook him, fool. One of the flunkies chuckled, and I aimed the gun and shot him in the arm. He went from trying to clown her to holding his arm while squealing.
Yup. See, motherfucker, you don't even know the power of the pussy. Like, don't try to play her. You done shut your mouth being a minion. Now, I don't know why he shot his goon, but, you know, he shot you because he probably was feeling that girl. Don't talk about her like that. Even if her life is in danger. I know y'all said Mizzle is a fool. Never stop. Never stop.
Willing out in pain from the bullet I put in his arm. I won't kill you. In exchange for? Her eyes slowly met mine. You're gonna marry me. I need a wife, and you need your life.
Now, I ain't say I was gonna do all that. I said I was gonna cook and clean. I was saying we'll work for you. I ain't saying I'm gonna be marrying you. But I guess, girl, you might have to do what you gotta do, girl. Just when you're in the house, just sing some hymns. I almost died being Bahamas. I met this fine man, but my best friend is dusty as fodder, stole from him. And I gotta be his wife. Yeah, to sing hymns, girl. Sing it. Sing it. Mm-hmm.
Your life saved. No. She looked at her friend and then her father. Marrying you saves them? Maybe. I don't know. Child, marry the damn man. My life on the damn line and you debating. You always been a little slow, baby girl. Ray spattered, trying to keep his breath.
Shot that fool. Shoot his fool. You talk about your wife. Shoot her. I don't care. Shoot that fool. Child.
Keep his breath even. The fuck you said to my wife? Ooh. I aim my gun at his ass next.
Oh, yes! I know that's right. I know that's right. You better say it. You better say it. Ew, yes. You better say it. You better claim her. Look at me pulling her off already. Look at me pulling her off already. Oh, shit. I'm hot. Ooh, yeah.
And she jumped up and out the seat, and I saw all that ass. Please don't shoot him, she pleaded with me. Despite not being close or caring for much, she cared enough to spare his life. Wifey, he stole from me. Can't let that go with a slap on the wrist. She looked at me repulsed when I called her wifey.
I mean, damn, you already claiming this girl. She isn't legally married to you yet. But, you know, that's what you call them wifey before they get married as a wife. So, you know. But, oops, right? But then I was like, damn. See, Stevie got a big heart. Because even after he said, just marry the damn man, you're maybe being a little slow. And I want to say, hubby, can you take him out for me? Thank you. He put me in this mess. Yes, I said it. He probably would do it too. Because my boom boom tonight, because you might have to chant.
Don't call me wifey. I watched as she choked the word out. I looked at her as she looked between me and them. I'll marry you if you don't kill them. Please. I really would fall apart. Stevie, she tried to sell you to the highest bidder. Jeffy reminded her. She sighed. I know, and that really sucks. They fucking stole from me. So why the fuck we discussing shit like that isn't...
Well, he was talking about the friend offer her up, but he sure not hesitate to take. Exactly, he didn't hesitate to take her. He one look at her, he was hooked. See, just like a man. Just because I don't know how freaking powerful you are, you get weak. But yeah, he still hold the power. But listen, the way how he at the few minutes that he met her, she may got some pull on him. But we'll see how much of a menace he gonna be towards her, because I know he gonna make her life hell. But let's see.
isn't in their immediate future. I interjected into the little powwow about what I was going to do. Jeffy nodded her head toward the exit, and I groaned, following behind her. You need a wife, and she's willing to become your wife. Is proving a point more important than being removed as a third founding family? Actually, yeah. Hell yeah. Maverick, she whispered. What the fuck you want me to do? Throw these bitches a birthday party and send them on their way? We're not talking small money, Jeff. She paused, and I could tell she was thinking. Compared to what you're worth, any amount is small money. Case Farms. Send them both to work there until we figure something else out. They work there for now to start paying back their debt. I'm with a lot of shit, but you're not about to make me into no damn slave owner. Stevie was talking to her janky-ass friend and had turned with her back facing us, and I saw her ass in those damn sweats again. Is there any more room for me in those jeans? I started singing, startling everyone in this bitch except for Duke, Beans, and Jeffy. I couldn't help but belt the words to the song out because her ass was singing the words to me.
What the fuck you singing, Genuine? I said, boy, ooh. So you just bust out a song just like I told her to bust out of hymns? Okay, man, you that damn freaking gone. You should have thought that in your head, not say it out.
Duke chuckled while Jeffy folded her arms. This is the solution to the problem. She gets to keep her father and that rodent alive, and you get a wife. Why are you more concerned about this than me? Because you're stubborn and will walk away as the third family because you hate being told what to do. She looked at Stevie and then back at me. I just have a feeling about this. Yo, Wonder, how bad you want to keep your friend alive? I walked back over toward them and her friend started crying on
Right? For real. Any room for me in them jeans? Shut the fuck up.
command. I walked over toward her and rubbed my gun against her jaw before resting my gun on the table next to her. Leaning my arm on top of her head, I started picking at the front of her wig while waiting for my future wife to tell me what needed to be done. My name is Stevie. Wonder, answer the question. She looked at Jeffy, who tossed her hands up. How do you know I wasn't the mastermind of all of this? I told you the girl was. I quickly turned, tapping her father's jaw, and I'm sure I probably knocked that shit back into place with the way he was squawking on the floor again. Is your purpose to get him to kill you, Stevie? Jeffy asked, trying to understand this woman. Shit, I was trying to understand her as I continued to pick Shorty's wig. It was something soothing about picking the hairline of this shit. Why would you lie to me, Priscilla? I thought we were friends. We are friends. Ouch. I started picking the pimple on her forehead. Stop lying. You offered her virginity up like it was yours. Stevie put her hands on her hips and looked at her, and I licked my lips as I took her in. Why you do that to me? I told you about Tony. Who Tony? Nobody.
No, that's the dude that figured SA you when you was younger and try to have her brother and do the same thing to you and told you if you say anything, he would have told everybody you was with it to freak both of them. No, tell him so he could go different guy. I don't care how long ago it's been. He ready to protect you. So tell him what he did. I said, well, his address is this place and.
She quickly shut me down. Priscilla had more tears than a newborn with the way she kept turning those shits on and off. Every time she thought she was in the clear, she would stop crying. The minute she wasn't, then she started hollering and throwing on those fake-ass tears. I'm sorry, Stevie. I thought I was gonna die. Who says you're not? I mumbled, and she tried to move her head, and I put it back into place and continued picking in her face. You stealing from me and not even investing in good skincare? Shit looked fucking gross. I would never have done that to you. I'm sorry, Stevie. That was so wrong on my end. I shouldn't have done that. That my father? She looked on the floor at her father moaning, too scared to move because I would put my foot in his ass. Her eyes nearly bulged out. Relax. You got hella blackheads. I continued to pick in her face while she sat there uncomfortable. I didn't know that was your father. I swear. We met in Las Vegas and he was tricking. You know me, Stevie. If he got it, I'm there.
Cause you're 304. Like I told y'all. Yeah.
Now you about to die. If he got it, I'm dead, right? Oh God, please, please, please. She continued to beg me and Stevie, who stood there torn. If I don't marry you, they die, I wonder. She looked at Jeffy and then back at me. Skylar can't find out about this. As far as she knows, we met on vacation, and I like you.
Now you gonna read me. Why have me feel for my life? Exactly. Oh, Joe.
You want me to keep two people that robbed me blind alive and lie? What fucking else? I must shorty and move back over toward my chair. She wouldn't understand, and she would just say that she warned me about Priscilla. Can't say she was wrong. Jeffy rolled her eyes and grabbed her purse. Stevie took a deep breath. Well, I guess I should head home and face the mute. I laughed. What the? Your home is with me. Fuck you think this is? I'm gonna negotiate a deal and let you off the hook. You're Skylar's cousin, not mine. I don't fucking know your loyalty. Shit, I'm questioning it right now, cause this bitch should have a bullet smoking from her forehead. I have to live with you? Yes, beloved.
Girl, what you thought it was? You gonna marry him and gonna be distant? Ain't no long distance around here. Ain't no long distance kind of relationship. This is not an arrangement. Girl, you supposed to be smarter than that. Look out of here. Your best friend stole money and put it in your account, and now he wants his money gone. You thought you were gonna marry him and be away a long distance? Nah, you gonna stay with him, cook, clean, like you said you gonna do. He might want to get some nookie. You might do that. Hell, you might end up like him. We'll see. Cause the way he hooked on you so far.
I smirked as I walked past her. Bees, get these niggas to Ryan so we can have them flown out to Case Farms. I'll figure out to do with them until they pay their debt. I would have Priscilla selling pussy. However, that wouldn't be a punishment with the way the girls at Case House were treated. The shit would have been a luxury for her disloyal ass. My blood still boiled at how hurt Wonder looked when she realized that her friend had offered her up. Like slaves? Priscilla screeched. Like alive ones. I mocked and headed toward the exit.
9. Stevie. As soon as we stepped outside, another large truck pulled up, and Menace headed to the black one of the two. Jeffy headed toward the one that had just pulled up and turned for me to follow her. I was still trying to wrap my head around being in this warehouse for a week. Beans was super nice to me and made sure that I was comfortable. When one of his workers started eyeing me funny, he broke his nose, and I hadn't seen him since. Since he was so nice to me, in return, I doodled a tattoo for him on some loose papers in the back office. Sleeping on the cot that was provided for me wasn't the best, and my back was still suffering from going to a luxury resort suite to a small room in the back of a smelly, dirty warehouse. The man that had kidnapped me held the door open for me. I thought we were friends. I gave him the stink eye, and he laughed, holding the door open wider for me. Boss's order. Nothing personal, Stevie. I climbed into the back and looked around the massive truck, melting in the soft butter leather seats while Jeffy pecked away on her phone. Is he not coming with us? Menace has a full day, and usually I would be with him, but I need to get you settled and this situation under control. She spoke as she continued on her phone, never breaking her stride in texting. Jeffy, my cousin cannot find out about this. Please promise to keep this secret. I promise I will tell her when I'm ready, but it has to come from me. She paused, lowering her phone to look at me. Why did you trust that girl, Stevie? You're smart, girl. None of what she was doing sounded shady to you?
She wasn't that smart. She was desperate for a friend. When you come desperation, that's what happened. She was a desperate housewife. Yeah, I know when I call people desperate, I call them desperate housewives, no matter who they are. Desperate housewives, that's what she was. She even thought she even think twice of that shadiness. That little, she didn't think twice.
I should have been smarter and listened. Sometimes it's easier to turn my brain off. I can't explain it, but I like living in my bubble. I'm happy there. She held her phone again and pointed it at me. You need to make sure your cousin knows. I hate keeping things from her. That's my sister wife. Not healthy for me to keep things from her and Core. She and Core are broken up, I reminded her. And I have plans on reuniting them. Enough about my family. This isn't a joke. He needs a wife, and he's really going to marry you. You're really going to live with him, she reminded me. My father and Priscilla both deserved whatever came to them. I wanted to pretend that I didn't care so much. He had been out of my life since my mama's funeral, and I hadn't heard a word from him. Why should I care for a stranger? My father was a stranger, and I shouldn't have given a damn about what happened to him. It was safe to say that he was innocent when it came to betraying me. He had no idea that Priscilla knew me. The betrayal was hearing that Priscilla was willing to offer me up to this man without a second thought. Bringing up my virginity, something that I had told her in confidence, really hurt. For a brief second, I wanted to die because all eyes were on me. Menace was most definitely scary.
So clear it up. Yes, so she is a virgin. When I said earlier about the essay, yes, that's still true. Him and the brother were trying to force her stuff on her until the mother caught them, and then they blamed the mother to think that she was hot fast. So yes, it was damn near get to that point that they was. So that was still XA.
And his eyes were very menacing with how he stared at you. Like he wanted to rip your head off and then eat a full-course meal after. Even I could see his eyes soften when he heard what Priscilla had said about him being...
For real, not willing, dead. Ain't no willing, use your words right. She did offer you up, not willing.
And being fine, and it wouldn't be that bad. I don't want my father or Priscilla to die. What they were doing was wrong, and they should have to answer for what they did. Death just seems so final. It is final, Jeffy nonchalantly replied. I looked out the window as we continued to drive. Where are we? Your new home, Staten Island. We'll make arrangements for you to get your...
Not no Staten Island. Not no Staten Island. They the own world. Anybody know in New York, it's 5 boroughs. Staten Island's one of them. And Staten Island's in their old world. They act like they're different from us. Oh, well, so we don't claim them. Let me stop. But yeah, they be in their own world. We vote one way, they want to vote those different. Y'all stay over there. Y'all so red with water. You only could get to Staten Island by boat anyway, so goodbye. It is a little bridge, but you know, it is what it is.
Your things from the condo with Skylar. I guess that would be the time for you to be honest with her. Not yet. Give me time to tell her. Skylar is always so hard with me, and she will tell me that she told me so, which she was right. I just don't want to deal with that right now. I'm her big cousin, not the other way around. Allow me to tell my own business and sit with this for a little minute, you know? She nodded her head at me and agreed with what I was saying.
Okay, girl, you can tell her. Shoot. You still gonna get I told you so or whatever. See, I told you not to trust that girl, and look what happened. But you never know. You may do a good little job with this Menace, and you probably get visibly protected. But then again, him and his wicked business is heat. So it's a little half and half of things.
It was hard to admit to my cousin that I didn't listen and ended up in this situation. I've always been raised to look at the bright side of things, and the bright side was that I wasn't dead. It was because of the people and connections that Skylar knew that had prevented me from dying in that warehouse when that could have been my fate. I'll give you that. Remember, your business includes me knowing and will break the trust me and Skylar have. She's my best friend, and we don't lie to each other. I promise. I promise I will tell her that I made you promise not to tell. I smiled at Jeffy, who went back on her phone. What is he like? Jeffy laughed. Well, he calls me his soulmate, so please don't get all weirded out. I screwed my face up and she laughed. Not like that. Me and Menace have been through a lot together. All of us have, and I've been the constant in his life. The one who never left, and the one he has always had. He's a big brother to me, best friend, and I'll deny it if you tell him, a soulmate in a way. I believe our paths were supposed to cross because he needs me. Wow. How am I, as his future wife, supposed to fill such shoes? I snickered, and Jeffy became serious. This is a business arrangement in a way. You marry him to help him with his problem, and he'll keep your people alive, although he really wants to kill them. You have to know that what your father and friend did is a death sentence. That man has done worse for less, and the fact that he has agreed to keep them alive because of you is really big. I know this is an arranged marriage, but don't think of it like that. Get to know him. Okay. You know how the most outrageous things happen to someone, and you joke and say that would happen to me because wild things always happen to you? That would be me in this moment. Crazy things always happen to me, and I always just roll with the punches and make the best out of them. Things could be worse, like me choking on my blood in that warehouse. Marrying a billionaire couldn't be that bad, right?
Oh, girl, you don't know what kind of business he got. Hey, call it how he is. It's dangerous, so it could be bad.
When Jeffy showed me that the chair had heat and it reclined back, I was dead to the world. Drool spilled out of my mouth when I felt the car jerk and go over what seemed like a huge pothole. I jumped up, thinking Jeffy had betrayed me and I was going to meet my maker. There were men in suits with a mirror on a long pole sticking it under the truck, and then nodding for him to proceed. Relax. He has security monitors on the floor, so when the truck goes over to get to the main gate, if there is anything on the car, it will more than likely fall off. And it scans to let him know who is entering the property. They are there to do a sweep under the car as well. Does someone want to kill him? Who does all of this for a home? She smiled. He's Menace Caselli, a name that is very powerful. There's a lot of people that want his position, and he makes sure that they can never get it, and his family is protected. Family? He has sisters and a brother. Jeffy looked at her watch. I'm not sure when you'll meet them. They don't come around much. That's sad. Her phone sounded, and she quickly picked it up and jumped into work mode. I admired how she could keep everything together without a strand of hair being loose. As we inched closer to the gates, the driver put the window down and waited a second before he quickly punched the number in and looked into the camera that moved in his direction. Soon as the camera verified who he was, he pulled up and lowered Jeffy's window down, and she repeated the same process with the phone tucked between her ear and shoulder. Soon as she was verified, the ironclad gates opened, allowing us access into what looked like trees. Each tree along the winding gravel road had a light that illuminated near the root of the tree. It was an overcast day, so the sun wasn't out, and it appeared darker, even for it being in the afternoon. We drove for a mile before we wrapped around a turnabout, and the house in question came into view. My breath was caught in my throat when I took in the home in front of us. Forget home. This looked like it could be a college campus or something. It was so massive and black. Very dark. Every inch of this home with its sleek glass balcony, slate exterior, and black gloss material screamed luxury. We pulled onto the Nantucket pavers that were perfectly layered. On the ride up from the gate, I felt my ears pop and looked at the driver and Jeffy to see if they felt the same thing. Now I knew why my eyes had popped. We were surrounded by forest. However, this home was elevated on a cliff, far away from everything and everybody. Talk about isolation.
For real, a dangerous isolation. I said, boy, what you trying to do?
The lush greenery made the harsh lines of this modern mansion soften. It was a give and take, and I think both elements, the home being slate, concrete, and mostly glass, along with the greenery that surrounded it, complemented each other. This is where I'm going to live? Jeffy smiled as the driver opened the door for her. Yes, not too shabby, huh? I didn't move from the seat as I watched her easily walk around the front of the truck and look through the windshield. The door on my side opened and I stepped out, not knowing what to do or say. This was normal life for Jeffy because she had probably been here over a dozen times. She picked up her phone again and gestured for me to follow her through the wide glass door. Soon as we walked in, we stepped...
Right, that's exactly what he wants, isolation. Exactly. I said, damn, nobody want to be trucking around over there to find he at. I said, boy, I don't got time for you. Yeah.
Stepped through another door, and I jumped when a mist fell down onto her from the glass doorway. It's a sanitizing mist. Kills germs. I walked through and felt the cold mist sprinkle over my clothes as I walked further into the foyer. There were no family pictures on the wall, just massive pieces of art and statues. The textured walls, dramatic modern chandelier, and the floating staircase didn't disappoint. The marble floors were so clean you could eat off them. They were sparkling as we walked into the house. He doesn't mind shoes downstairs. However, no shoes are allowed on the second and third level. Well, the third level is off limits to you. It's his bedroom, office, and his sanctuary. Noted.
I said, bitch, don't be trying to do all that. Because when my boom boom gonna be going, I'm gonna be in that bedroom soon enough. Let me stop. But let me stop. I know my role. I know. I can't go upstairs. Girl, all that rules.
Mess. He hates a mess, Stevie. Legit will flip out if he sees crumbs or anything. The man has a way he does things. In the fridge, everything has an order, and he makes sure of it. As I half listened to Jeffy running everything down, my stomach felt uneasy. It was so much, and I was suddenly feeling overwhelmed by it all. She spoke so quickly and knew everything that he liked and didn't like. If her telling me everything wasn't enough, I nearly passed out when she slid a door open off the kitchen and there was a full room dedicated to fridges. Yes, plural. The man had a wall full of industrial refrigerators, and they were all color-coded. One had every green fruit, vegetable, smoothie, and drink color-coded, and neat.
Damn! We know you like that. What the fuck you need all that refrigerators for? She gotta be walking up. Exactly. Now they both got the ADHD going on, but the OCD, I don't know if she don't has it. But he is extreme case of that. So yes, that's gonna be something. Yeah, I say if I sit down the one way, make a quick sentence, make a crease in the freaking chair or something like that, he might even flip out. Boy, by the matter, I might have to stand up. Don't touch on the day. But damn, why he be all that fringes like that? We're gonna stop at this chapter, y'all, but let's finish this chapter. That color coordinated, all that stuff. He must get a lot of grocery shopping because I don't know where all that.
And neatly put. Then another had a bunch of red smoothie drinks in it, along with red apples, because God forbid we put a Granny Smith in there. You can help yourself to anything that you would like. Just make sure you don't mix things up. Colors go with each other. And then she walked over toward the other side and slid another door open, and my eyes nearly fell out of my head. It was a candy store. A literal candy store filled with different variations of candy.
Bitch, what we doing here? Because it seems like it's almost like a chocolate factory around here. You got one little grocery store place. Now you got a candy store over here. What is a clothing store next? Like, what's going on here? All these fucking doors and mazes.
I was no longer worried about everything that Jeffy had run down to me. I was focused on all the candy and snacks she had shown me. I know this is a lot, and I do plan to run everything to you. Just wanted you to have some of the knowings of living with Menace Caselli. Some, I blurted. Jeffy laughed. I know. It is a lot, and that is the reason I no longer live with him. You used to live with him? She waved me off. Years ago, when we were younger, me and Menace practically grew up together. I watched as she checked her watch. I have a meeting to make for this ball in Monaco. We're hopefully finalizing the last details, and I can't miss this one. Let me show you where you'll be staying, and the driver has brought in your suitcase and cell phone. I followed her through the museum of the house. It looked unlived in and perfect. There wasn't a pillow or carpet out of place. As we made our way through the house, I started to see if I could spot something that is out of place. I never did. Jeffy opened one door to the double doors down the hall on the second level. This is my room? She smiled. Yes. Maybe one day you both will want to share one room. Yeah, no thanks, I muttered and walked past her into the room, taking in the hues of beige, cream, and mauve. The tufted wall behind the plush bed filled with bedding that matched the entire room had me in awe. The plants in the corner were fake. Still, it added to the decor of the bedroom. My room was right off the backyard, so there was a sliding door and a glass balcony I could utilize. From where the house sat in the hills, you got a full view of Staten Island and the Verrazano Bridge in the distance. It felt like we were royalty looking down on the kingdom. The driver came into the room and handed Jeffy something. She thanked him and gave him an ETA on when she would be done and ready to leave. You're leaving me here alone? You're not alone. My assistant is here as well. She's interning right now, and the goal is for her to be able to fill some of my roles when I decide to step back some. You are probably tired and want a shower. I know this is all a lot and happened so fast. I can also tell that you are overwhelmed as well. Call your cousin and everyone who has been looking for you. Jeffy handed me my phone and I slowly took it while sitting on the edge of the bed. We're supposed to get married and then live life together? For how long? Jeffy sat down beside me and put her hand on my shaking leg. Me and Skylar talk a lot. I know life hasn't been easy for you since you lost your mom, Stevie. Don't think about how long you'll be married. Look at it as a way to reset. Focus on you and the things that you love. Reinvent Stevie and find that spark again. Yeah, sure, you're sharing a home with a stranger, but I can assure you that you're safe with him. I released the tension in my shoulders and swiped away a tear. When she mentioned my mother, something inside of me broke. I don't know why hearing Jeffy mention my mother caused me to break down. I always find myself in some foolishness. None of this would have happened if my mother was here. Or this happened because your mother put this into play. I mean, without the stealing and killing. However you choose to look at this is up to you. She smiled, squeezing my knee and standing up. Thanks, Jeffy. Don't mention it. Call your cousin, please. Green is somewhere around here, probably in my office on the ground floor. The buttons on the wall near the night tables can connect you to the kitchen, housekeeping, valet, and takeout. Takeout? He rarely uses the button. Menace is particular when it comes to his food, so it's rare that he eats out. He has his chef prepare anything. Anyway, Lupita lives in the guest house through the trees. She spends the day in the house, so you can catch her in the kitchen or out back if you're hungry. Thanks, Jeffy. She smiled and then headed out the room as I sat there with my cell phone in my hand. The second I powered it on, I waited for a few seconds before all the messages and missed calls bombarded the screen. Skylar, Alex, and even Cora's name popped up on my screen. He called twice, which I assumed he stopped calling because he found out what his sick best friend was up to. I pressed Skylar's name and took a deep breath as the phone rang. Stevie Ray, you better be gone and calling me from the spirit world. 1 second. How can I help you? Yes, D.A. Fern is out for a family emergency. I can take a message and schedule something when she's back in the office. Sure. Berkeley? I thought I recognized your voice. You want an interview with her? Sure. Let me take a message and give it to her when she's back to work. Cool. You too. I could hear her hang the phone up, which meant she was at work. The fuck she want to interview Capri for? She muttered, probably forgetting I was on the phone. Skylar? Where in the world have you been? What happened to keeping communication when on vacation? I've been calling, worried sick about you. I even called Alex and got him worried. For good reason. I tried to look into your hotel and it said that you checked out. Priscilla was no use because she didn't answer her phone. Are you all right? Yes, I met someone. I prepared myself to lie to my cousin about what I was involved in. What she didn't know at this moment wouldn't kill her. What? You went ghost because you met someone? He's perfect, Skylar. Such a gentleman and sweet too. God, I think I'm in love. I continued to lay it on thick.
If your cousin knows long enough, she knows you probably playing with her. But let her, I played along. Girl.
We wanted to commit all our time to each other. She groaned into the phone. Who is this man, Stevie? You'll never believe me. Try me. I heard her slurping an iced coffee. How did I know it was an iced coffee? Because Skylar had at least 3 a day. We both would have so much coffee and forget to eat then complain about a headache. We were just girls, okay? Menace. Skylar broke out in a fit of choking, so much so that I could hear someone in the background asking if she was all right. I'm all right, she choked out as she tried to get her coughing under order. Who? Menace Caselli. We met in the Bahamas, and I think I'm in love. I rolled my eyes while my tone remained excited. Cora's best friend, Stevie? You cannot be talking about Menace the nutcase. I held back my laugh. Not too much on my love. It felt so weird lying to her because I always told her everything. This time, I couldn't bring myself to tell her what I had gotten myself mixed into because I knew how she would act. Skylar was the kind of person that always wanted to fix everything, and this was my mess, and I had to fix it on my own. This was something that I had to do and prove to myself. Skylar couldn't get me out of my mess every time. She was a mother, and if she stopped being stubborn, she would have a family with Core. Where did that leave me? Marrying Menace was outlandish. However, what if it wasn't the worst thing? If anything, it would be cool to be friends and married. We were helping each other out and could still live our own lives. To the public, we were married and in love. Behind closed doors, we would do whatever we wanted with our own lives. Where are you? When are you coming home, Stevie? She sounded fed up listening to me tell her that I had fell for Menace. Skylar knew him better than I did, so I wasn't convinced that she believed me. He did seem out there at the warehouse and a bit of a loose cannon. Every time he wanted to do something impulsive, I noticed he would rub his hands together. 7 times. I was so nervous that I watched his every move, counting each time he did it. One of the times we made eye contact, and I was sure that he was going to kill me for watching him too hard. So about that, I'm not coming home. He invited me to move in with him, and I think I'm going to do it. Skylar was full on choking now, and I could actually hear someone hitting her back to help her stop. Drink some water, Jesus. I heard someone instruct her in the background. Pam, I am all right, thanks, she replied. Moving in with him? You don't even know him, Stevie. What were you doing, drugs? He makes me feel so good, Skylar. I yawned, wanting to shower and then climb into this bed to get some sleep. Well, I'm coming to see you at his house. I want to make sure you're not being held against your will. Do you need me to bring anything? I ran down everything I wanted her to bring before she told me to reach out to Alex, and we ended the call. Me. Alex, I'm alive. We'll call soon. Alex. Okay. Don't do that again, Stevie. Was worried. Me. Sorry. I grabbed my luggage and rummaged through what I had and found a pair of pajamas before walking into the massive bathroom. The glass-encased shower was the star of the bathroom with a rain shower head. Between the bamboo ceiling and the travertine and glass shower, the bathroom was like a dream. I looked at the controls on the wall and smiled as I pressed whatever. When I discovered how to control the temperature and make the glass frosted, I went over to the sink and unpacked my cosmetics bag that had my makeup and skincare, along with my travel toothpaste, all in one bag. Looking in the mirror, I smiled at myself and then closed my eyes and said a prayer to my mother. I needed her to lead the way, show me what I was supposed to be doing, tell me if this was the right move for me. No matter if Skylar wanted to admit it or not, she was slowly building something, a family, when it came to her, Core, Jeffy, and Estella. She just needed to stop being stubborn and realize it. I just wanted my own thing too. So even if I had to fake it until I made it, I had no other choice but to become Menace Caselli's wife.
10.
All right, yeah, we're gonna stop it right there. We're gonna don't forget this Saturday I will do the next set of chapters. The next Sunday I will be doing something with my mother. But it's good, y'all. It's really good. We did chapter 4 through freaking 9. That's 5 chapters. So hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. You know, I like to be silly when I look at things, especially when I read. When I read, I just get so enthralled into the book. Well, in this case, we listen to the book, but still reading. And it's really good. It's really good. But I'm ready to see this ride that Steve gonna have with this Menace, because I don't know, he's gonna be a tough one, and he may start cracking. But he's still gonna be tough. And Stevie girl, I don't think this is her freaking fantasy land. But like she said, she gotta fake it before you make it. Fake it till you make it, girl. Fake it till you make it. And F that friend. F that girl Priscilla and your father. Yeah. But it's good. But I don't think that's cousin really believe her that much. I believe if she know who Menace Cassetta is, like she knows she probably know her cousin is lying to her. But I'm gonna let you have it, girl. You say you doing good, okay. It's Staten Island. But it's just that. But this Saturday, we'll do start from chapter 10. Don't forget, this Thursday, we're going to do Mizzle Talks, and we're going to talk about Married to Medicine, 4, 5, 6. Those 3 episodes. And I had to pre-record the Traders Review. So I will do that probably tonight or tomorrow. And y'all will get it before the next new episode, which is Thursday. So y'all will definitely get it before Thursday. But that's that. So I hope y'all enjoy it. And people who replay game, please like the button, like this video, and give me your thoughts. When you're listening, you can tell me your thoughts. And also the link to last week is in my chat. So scroll up and you'll see it. And y'all have a great Sunday. Be safe, be blessed, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace out. Yes, we will be watching Traders together on Thursday. Definitely. We will watch Traders together on Thursday. Why the music? All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Yes, good night. Good night. Good night. I'll talk to you later.